Okay, fantastic. So we've got our pixel down and it's time to create our first ad. Okay, very exciting. Now, before we get into that, I just wanted to let you know that when it comes to paid traffic and retargeting, you can make things more complicated for yourself than you need them to be, especially when you start out. And I find that this causes a lot of people to get overwhelmed and not take any action at all, which is obviously not a good thing and stops them from getting any results. Okay, so I've obviously played around with a lot of this stuff. So I'm going to let you know the 80-20. And for those of you that aren't familiar with the 80-20, it's a rule whereby 80% of your results will come from 20% of your effort. And so if you want to do things and just sort of get the maximum bang for buck, just focus on those 20% and you'll get the majority of the return. Okay. So when it comes to retargeting, the 80-20 rule means that the best ad that you should be using, if you're only going to use one, is the Facebook newsfeed ad. Okay. Now, I've had a really good experience with Facebook newsfeed ads in terms of getting cheap, targeted clicks and really good conversions from those clicks. Why is that, you ask? Well, the Facebook newsfeed ad, you've probably seen it. It's that sponsored post in the middle of your Facebook newsfeed. It looks like content, right? So it's in a place where everyone's looking. They're on Facebook. They're usually there because they're actually looking for entertainment. They're not busy on some other website, so it's not really distracting them. It's smack bang in the middle of their face, so it does tend to get a very, very high click-through rate, and consequently, it gets you cheap clicks, okay? And conveniently for us, the banner ad size for the Facebook newsfeed ad, there's just one single size that we need to use, so we don't need to go making, like 10 different banners to put in all the different places. If you're just going to run one ad, just run the Facebook newsfeed ad, and you're going to get fantastic results from your retargeting. Not to say that down the track you shouldn't experiment with running ads on the right-hand side or putting them all over the web. But as I said, a lot of your benefit and just getting something out there and getting some results and having retargeting work for you is going to come just with this one ad. Okay, now there isn't also an advanced reason why this is the case. All right, and this video is, I guess, it's semi-optional. If it goes over your head, don't worry about it. But I thought I'd explain it because I want you to really understand how this traffic works, because ultimately this will help you a lot. So let's say there's two ways you can buy traffic, okay? One is every time someone clicks your ad, you pay, which is pay per click. You've probably heard of that one before. And the other one is called pay per impression, also known as CPM, which stands for cost per 1,000 impressions, okay? So that just means that instead of paying every time someone clicks your ad, you can choose to pay every time your ad is shown to 1,000 people that you've chosen, okay? Now, with retargeting, what we've really done for ourselves is created a really tight audience, okay? So the audience is tight because they're people that have already been to our site. So for that reason, they're people that have a very, very, very high probability of being interested in what we are selling or offering, unless they accidentally landed on our site, which is very rarely the case, okay? So if you have a really tight audience and you show them a good ad, you have a really, really high chance of them clicking through. So for that reason, we want to ideally bid with CPM. This is paying per impressions, and this is what AdRoll does for us, okay? So the reason for that is, let's say for the sake of example, we're paying $5 per 1,000 impressions. Sorry, everyone clicks there. I mean, $5 per 1,000 impressions. As I said, because we have a tight audience, we're going to get a high click-through rate. And let's just say our click-through rate is 5%. So if you're getting a 5% click-through rate on your 1,000 clicks, you're driving 50 clicks, okay? So 50 clicks you're driving, and you've paid $5 for it. So let's convert it to cents just to get it in that denomination. So we have 500 cents, we've got 50 clicks, which means we've paid 10 cents per click, okay? Now, if you manage to get your click-through rate up to 10%, well, then you can drop that in half again. And if you get it up to 20%, well, you can take that down to a quarter of that original cost. So that's the secret to cheap clicks. Whenever you hear someone talking about, penny clicks on Facebook or, dirt cheap clicks, the way that traditionally you do it isn't by paying per click. Is that you get a super, super, super tight audience that are very, very likely to click on your ad because it's so well targeted to them. You put it smack bang in their faces in a place where they're going to see it, not hidden in the on the right-hand side. You put it smack bang in the middle of the newsfeed with a big picture and telling them to click, and a really provocative ad text, which we'll talk about soon, and you get a lot of people clicking through. And if you're only paying per impression, the higher click-through rate, the lower your cost per click. this is pretty much the secret to cheap clicks. I just thought I'd include it here and let you know why we're using the CPM and how it all works. Now, the good news is for you that AdRoll manages the CPM, all right? So that is this showing people your ad. So basically what it tries to do is show it to people that have a high probability of clicking it, and showing it to different people, not the same people over again, and therefore maintaining a higher click-through rate as possible. So the bottom line is, and that high click-through rate means you get cheap clicks. So the bottom line is this makes your life a whole lot easier, and you really don't need to worry about any of this stuff other than what I said, just that if you're going to run an ad, run a newsfeed ad, and I'm going to show you how simple it is to get it up. But look, I'll be blunt with you, I'm a big paid traffic nerd. I probably spend the majority of my time, tweaking and optimizing paid traffic campaigns these days. So if you do want to understand this difference between CPM and PPC and when to use either, because it certainly stumped me for a long time, just send me an email, because I'd be happy to discuss this with you and help you out with that, because it can help you unlock the keys to the traffic kingdom, okay? But for the purposes of this, the point of this video is really just to let you know, if you're going to make one ad, let's use a newsfeed ad, and I'll show you results with that in a sec.